There is a moment in every person's life when they look into the mirror and finally tell the truth. The truth that they have been waiting for a miracle without ever becoming the kind of person who deserves one. The truth that they have been hoping for change while repeating the same habits that keep them stuck. The truth that almost everyone wants success, but almost no one wants the sacrifice that creates it. People want the life, but not the work. They want the victory, but not the battle. They want the reward, but not the relentless discipline required to get there. And that is why so many dreams die before they are even born. 99 out of 100 people are not willing to push themselves to the level their dreams demand. They say they want greatness, but they refuse to take control of the one thing that determines everything, their mind. Life will hit you, pressure you, test you, and try to pull you into comfort. And most people let it happen. They allow the world to push them around, and then they push themselves even lower. They hurt themselves with their own excuses, procrastination, and self-sabotage. They give up the future they want for the comfort they feel right now. They sell their destiny for distraction. They choose what feels good instead of what makes them great. Self-discipline is the difference between wishing for a better life and building one. People think discipline means punishment, restriction, or suffering. But discipline is nothing more than self-respect. It is the moment you say to yourself, I deserve more than the habits that are destroying me. It is choosing long-term pride over short-term pleasure. It is choosing actions that build your character instead of impulses that break it. Every time you act with discipline, you are telling yourself that you matter, that your dreams matter, that your future matters. Discipline is not the enemy. Discipline is the purest form of self-love. Self-love is not comfort. Self-love is choosing what is best for you even when it is the hardest thing to do. Self-love is saying, I will not let you throw away your peace for a temporary feeling. I will not let you chase someone who damages your spirit. I will not let you eat what destroys your energy. I will not let you skip the work that shapes your future. I love you too much to let you settle for the life you are living now. That is real love, the kind that builds you instead of breaking you. You cannot win the war against the world if you cannot win the war against your own mind. Most people lose before they even start, because they let their emotions lead the way. They allow opinions to dictate their confidence. They let fear make their decisions. They wake up each day looking for validation instead of discipline. They try to impress the world instead of improving themselves. And then they wonder why they feel empty. Self-esteem is not built by applause. It is built by discipline. It is built by keeping your promises to yourself. Every time you do what you said you would do, even when it is difficult, you cast a vote for the person you want to become. Every disciplined action is a brick. Every lazy choice is a crack. And life is always watching which one you choose. And when life hurts you, when people betray you, abandon you, or disappoint you, you must remember a truth that separates the weak from the powerful. Fault and responsibility are not the same thing. Something may not be your fault, but it is still your responsibility to fix it. It may not be your fault that you were hurt, but it is your responsibility to heal. It may not be your fault that someone broke your heart, but it is your responsibility to pick up the pieces and rebuild a life worth living. If you stay stuck in blame, you stay stuck in pain. If you keep pointing at the past, you keep living in it. Responsibility is where freedom begins. When you take responsibility for your mind and your actions, you unlock a level of power that most people will never experience. You stop waiting for apologies. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop waiting for someone to rescue you. You become your own rescue. You become your own standard. You become the source of your own discipline. And once you reach that state, nothing and no one can control your life except you. Look at the people around you. Look at the ones you text every day. Do they feed your fire or suffocate it? Do they inspire you or drain you? Do they push you forward or pull you back? Your environment is either building your discipline or destroying it. You must protect your energy with the same intensity that you protect your dreams. If you surround yourself with people who settle, you will settle. But if you surround yourself with people who grow, you will grow. Your life will always rise to the level of your standards and the people you allow into your circle. Talent is a gift, but skill is built. People admire greatness and call it luck because they cannot see the discipline behind it. They cannot see the hours of repetition, the early mornings, the lonely nights, the countless failures, the daily habits repeated long after motivation fades. You build success the same way you build a wall, one perfect brick at a time. You do not focus on the size of the dream. You focus on laying the next brick with absolute excellence. You focus on what you can control today. And when you do that consistently, day after day, the dream builds itself. Fear will always try to stop you before you even begin. It will whisper reasons to quit, excuses to delay, doubts that freeze you in place. But fear is only a prediction, not a truth. You are scared hours before the challenge even begins. You are scared in bed, in the car, at the table, long before anything has happened. Fear ruins more days than failure ever will. But the moment you step through the fear, the moment you do the thing you were terrified of, you discover the most blissful truth in life. The greatest things you will ever experience are always on the other side of fear. When you finally understand that fear is only a doorway, not a wall, everything in your life begins to shift. Fear loses its power when discipline enters the room. Discipline gives you the strength to act even when your hands shake, even when your voice trembles, even when your mind invents 1,000 excuses to run. Discipline is the anchor that keeps you steady when the storm tries to break you. It is the foundation of every breakthrough, every transformation, every victory. Without discipline, your potential stays asleep. With discipline, it roars awake. Most people never discover who they could become because they never stay consistent long enough to see the results of their discipline. They quit too early. They give up too soon. They stop right before everything was about to change. They get impatient with the slow progress and choose the comfort of old habits instead of the discomfort of growth. But discipline is not about speed. Discipline is about direction. Discipline is about moving forward even when the progress feels invisible. Growth is quiet in the beginning. The seed breaks the soil long before anyone claps for the tree. You have to be willing to grow in silence. Discipline is not something you do once. It is something you live. It is a daily choice. It is the decision to keep going when the emotions fade, when motivation disappears, when the excitement is gone. Anyone can act disciplined when they feel inspired. But true discipline begins the moment the inspiration leaves. True discipline is forged in the days that feel ordinary. The mornings when you wake up tired, the nights when you feel defeated. Those are the moments when champions are made. Not during the highlights, but during the quiet hours when no one is watching. Every great life is built on invisible work. You do not see the hours of practice. You do not see the repetition. You do not see the sacrifices. But the results reveal everything. Discipline is the ultimate equalizer because it does not require talent. It only requires effort. It only requires commitment. It only requires that you show up for yourself every day. That you choose your future over your excuses. That you take control of your actions instead of letting your impulses take control of you. You become what you repeatedly do. Excellence is not an act. It is a habit. And your habits are shaped by your discipline. If you choose distraction, distraction becomes your life. If you choose excuses, excuses become your identity. But if you choose discipline, discipline becomes your power. It becomes the engine that drives everything you want to achieve. It becomes the reason your future looks different from your past. It becomes the force that lifts you above the limitations you once believed were permanent. There will be days when discipline feels like a burden. Days when you question whether the pain is worth it. Days when the old version of you tries to drag you back to who you used to be. But that is the sign that you are growing. That is the sign that you are stepping into a new level of yourself. Growth always demands a price. You cannot become stronger without resistance. You cannot become wiser without struggle. You cannot become disciplined without discomfort. But the discomfort you feel today becomes the strength you rely on tomorrow. You must understand that no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to force you to wake up early, to work on your craft, to improve your habits, to face your fears. No one is coming to drag you out of your comfort zone. That is your job. That is your responsibility. And the moment you accept that responsibility, your life changes. You stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for motivation. You stop waiting for the perfect moment. You build the moment. You create the motivation. You give yourself permission. Discipline is freedom. Discipline is the ability to choose your destiny instead of living by default. Discipline is the power to control your decisions instead of letting your emotions control them. Discipline is the path that takes you from who you are to who you are meant to be. It is the bridge between dreams and reality. Without discipline, dreams remain fantasies. With discipline, fantasies become accomplishments. Look at your future. Look at who you want to become. Everything you desire is on the other side of consistent discipline. The stronger your discipline becomes, the more unstoppable you become. The world does not get easier. You get stronger. Challenges do not disappear. You rise above them. Obstacles do not vanish. You learn to climb them. Discipline shapes your character. Discipline builds your resilience. Discipline gives you the power to rise in moments when everyone else folds. One day you will realize that the discipline you resisted was the very thing that saved you. It opened doors, revealed your strength, and shaped who you became. Discipline was never punishment. It was the gift that built your confidence and your future. So, decide today to rise and commit. Discipline is the beginning of freedom and the path to the strongest version of you.